to you. Happy Friday. We are sitting here in lovely Joplin, Missouri with Dr. Murphy. And I'm a little tired this morning, so I'm feeling a little off my game. And we are going to be answering the questions you submitted, or at least he is. I'm going to just be delivering them because I don't know anything about this stuff. And we'll just get right to it. What do you think?
Let's go.
Okay, so your first question today, Dr. Murphy, on Free Advice Friday. Again, guys, free advice
Freak
from
show.
an educated man.
Freak show.
The freak show. Okay, your first question. It's summertime. Everybody's out there swimming. And they want to know about swimmer's ear. So what do you do about it? What causes it? What do we need to know about it?
Okay, there's a couple of things. Normally, swimmer's ear is when you have a bacterial infection within your ear.
Okay.
And a lot of times this comes from actually where it's mostly creeks, but you can have some swimming pools if they look like a lagoon. Some people's pools look like a lagoon. It's kind of hard to keep the bacteria and the algae and everything to a minimum. But anyhow, water gets in your ear and it can't get out for a variety of reasons. It's interesting that most people think of wax in the ear, and it's somewhat of a protectant, but it's also can hold water in the ear as well. And it's not really wax, it's actually cellular debris that has not escaped your ear. A lot of people think it's wax, but it's really not.
So it's a buildup of cells.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Gross.
Cells you can't shed. And the interesting thing is people that do get a lot of swimmer's ear, in my opinion, they have what's called tortuous ear canals.
Torturous?
So
Tortuous.
some people's ear canals go straight in.
Yeah.
So when you look at it inside their ear, you can just see the eardrum real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have to pull on the ear to straighten out the canal to take a look at it. So the ear canals can be acutely bent. And in that particular situation, the water in the ear cannot escape relatively freely. And so it stays in there. So you have contaminated water in an ear and it builds up an infection with the cellular debris because it's not wax. So you have dead skin cells in there and that all becomes infected. Well, when it does, it tends to spread to the surrounding ear canal, swells it shut. Okay, so that's a real big problem because you can't really get any drops in there.
Yeah.
And there's different things doctors can do. They can actually do what's called put a wick in it, which is just a piece of plastic. It allows the fluid to help it drain out because it's so tightly clamped down. But oral antibiotics are really what's going to be indicated. It's typically what they call Quinolone, Cipro, Levaquin, antibiotics along those lines. Some of the other antibiotics work pretty good too. Pretty much any antibiotics going to work pretty good for swimmer's ear. But steroids are going to help to get rid of the swelling in swimmer's ear. But it's not uncommon to see it though. But biggest thing is get the fluid out of the ear after you're done swimming. I don't know if earplugs work all that good. They say to use those if you're prone to swimming. I think that's okay. A piece of advice I'm going to give you, and I don't think you'll read about it in the medical literature, is rubbing alcohol.
In your ear, just after or before?
After, and just put on a Q-tip. Don't shove it down in there, but just put a couple, a saturated rubbing alcohol Q-tip and just let it kind of go around your ear. That actually reduces surface tension of the water, so it doesn't want to bubble. It's kind of like, and it just wants to run out. So that works real good. But don't take the jug of rubbing alcohol and dump it in your kid's ear like this. Just a little bit, and it'll help the water escape from the ear.
So is there a difference between, because I feel like sometimes I've gotten just water in my ear and it just feels stuck in swimmer's ear. There's a difference between a little bit of water in your ear and swimmer's ear, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so don't freak out and think you've got swimmer's ear just because there's water in your ear.
Right. You'll know if you have swimmer's ear because it really hurts.
Okay.
It'll swell up. There'll be some fluid leaking out of it that'll be infected. It'll be running down the side of your face and stuff.
Ew, that sounds a lot worse. Yeah. So if you do just have water in your ear and you can't get it out, what do you do then?
Rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol. You know what I do? I'll put more water in it. And it helps.
Probably goes into your brain.
Probably does. Sloshes around. Lets out some of my brain fluid.
You probably sneeze and blow it out.
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. I'm
not kidding either.
I'll just tip my head and drop some water in my ear, and then I just tip my head back the other direction, and it just drains
water
out.
on the floor.
Yeah, every time I tip my head, there's liquid coming out. It's my brains. I'm replacing my brains with water.
Yeah, no. You're just replacing the water in your head with water.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so fun fact for the day, pro tip, alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol, not Jack Daniels.
No, not Jack Daniels.
And just a little bit swab, don't shove in your ear. There's a difference between swimmer's ear and water in your ear.
Correct.
Okay, so good answer. Ooh,
Yeah, that's good.
you got a 10. Okay, your next question now is, I heard that it was called second-hand drowning. Is that a real thing? What even is that? Because the story I heard, do you want to hear the story real quick?
Sure.
I'll tell you the story. I heard a story that a kid almost drowned in a pool, but he didn't, he's fine. And then later on, his lungs filled up with water, they took him to the ER, and he was second-hand drowning, is the story I heard. Now, what's the real scoop on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that can happen in the lungs, and there's some just really bizarre, freaky stuff. And when your lungs are exposed to any kind of toxin, and water is a toxin, they can actually develop what they call leaky capillary syndrome, to where fluid can, from exposed to a toxin, not necessarily water, might have been chlorinated water, I don't know the premise of the story, but anything that injures the lung, they can become permeable and leak fluid out of the lung itself into the surrounding lung space. And it's called wet lung, or we call it adult respiratory distress syndrome. So you can have literally your lungs fill up and become just wet when they're normally supposed to be filled with air. And yeah, that's part of it. But you can also see it from other things. Oh my God, heart attack, pneumonias, septic shock. Interesting enough, I think morphine. An overdose of morphine can cause what they call a wet lung. Yeah, there's a bunch of, there's probably 1,000.
I bet that's really scary.
Yeah, I mean, they can.
You're like you're drowning.
Yeah, and so it...
Is that what happens to a lot of adults whenever they've been sick from, usually terminally ill, and they get to that stage where their lungs are just constantly filling up with water?
Yeah.
That is so sad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and typically, I think a lot of it's age dependent. The older you are, you won't survive it.
Ooh, you can't get a new set of lungs real easy.
Well, no, because what you have to do is correct the underlying factor that's causing it.
Yeah.
So if you have, if you have cancer, how do you correct it? Get rid of the cancer. Well, you can't get rid of the cancer. So these people wind up on ventilators, and it's just a horrible situation.
I'm looking forward to the future whenever we can transfer our consciousness from one body to the next, and I can just cash in a new body. When my lungs start filling up.
You don't have a consciousness to transfer.
There's a new show on.
You're going to be like myself, I'm transfer not complete.
Yeah, no, it's like, no, we're not going to do this, girl. We're going to do the world a favor and just start. There's a show on Netflix called Altered Carbon, and they call bodies sleeves, and you just transfer your consciousness to another body.
Jesus.
I wish that was a
Don't really have to be here for this. And you wonder why we call this the Freak Show?
We're doing Netflix show reviews.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's our next series. What's good on Netflix? Okay. Are you ready for your last question?
Yes.
Okay, your last question.
Before I transfer my consciousness out of this.
to that skeleton. That's really me. The only difference is...
Oh my God.
Okay, your last question. Is it true that weight loss can help arthritis?
Yes.
Weight loss helps arthritis.
That's true. Arthritis, and depending on it, doesn't matter, there's a bunch of different types, but we're going to talk about the two most common, rheumatoid, osteoarthritis. Anything that puts weight pressure on a joint you can have an arthritic flare-up. Okay. So yes, losing weight does help arthritis without a doubt. As a matter of fact, I do have orthopedic surgeons that send patients to us to lose the weight so they can actually replace a joint, like a knee.
Wow.
Because if you replace a knee joint, your weight's above 250, 260 pounds, it will not last. Yeah. It's just too much pressure for that particular knee. So, and just a hot tip out there, every pound of weight you lose takes 3 to 4 pounds of stress off your knees and your ankles.
Wow.
So it has to do with surface area to weight, what's the joint contact. Because a lot of people, you'll look at a knee and you think, oh my God, look at that big knuckle and it's riding on so much pressure. Actually, your knee rides on real little points, probably.
Like that guy's knee right there?
Yeah, like those knees, those knuckles down around his knee. but it's only right on a point about that big, 2 points of contact on your knee. So
Yeah.
they're just
They're
real
like pins.
small points. Yes.
It's like when you get on some kind of amusement park ride and you see it's only connected so that it can swivel.
Yeah, yeah. Or even women with what they call stilettos, high heels.
Oh, yes.
Now you're talking my language there.
yeah.
Okay. But anyhow, if you look at a woman's heel pressure on that heel spike, a woman that weighs about 150 pounds, there's 1,300 pounds of pressure
Oh my gosh.
on that spike.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's the same with your knee and your ankle. Your body just rides on different points, so it has mobility. That's why weight loss every pound equals 3 pounds
Yeah.
off that stiletto heel.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I knew I was going to talk fashion. Going to be right here.
Yeah, it's so up my alley.
Yeah. So
Even though I like to wear flats.
okay,
But I like to look at heels.
but you
All
understand
right,
that.
I get it.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's how weight loss helps people with
Yeah.
arthritis.
Every time I think about the pressure point, I think about Jurassic Park. You know that scene where the trailer
Oh
goes
my God,
down?
we're back to Netflix.
And then he puts his fingertips down and the glass starts cracking. You know that scene?
No, I don't.
Oh, he needs to watch more movies.
Yeah. I need
Of course,
to
if you watch movies like I did, you wouldn't have all this information in your head like you do. Because you actually do good things with your time. And I watch TV.
Is this a good thing with my time?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that answers all our questions.
For our next Flick Review Friday.
Check in next week on our reviews on the new Jurassic Park movie. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it.
Thank God.
Alrighty. Well, you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday, I guess.
Stay cool.
Stay cool.